So what we're focusing on is creating this union with less depth as far as the grooves go that go into the union. You can see by my template there, the lines go almost 1/4 of an inch down all the way through the union. So I suggest going maybe 1/8 of an inch. That'll make it a little bit easier to carve your stars. Or there's your first stripe. Then start your drape. I'm not sure if the pencil marks are coming out or not, but you can see where the pencil marks are. It ends at that first stripe, and that gives you a flat union. Okay, so here I'm just going to kind of give you an idea of what prompted this idea. As you know, when you do carved stars in the grooves, I mean, these didn't come out bad because I did 1/8 of an inch rather than 1/4 of an inch depth with the saw and then the grinder. So that's that one. And here is a flat union, which makes the stars really easy. You can actually use the glue-on stars if you like. And it just makes it so much easier to not have such a deep groove. As you all been there, you know, we have these templates for the stars, and you have to really push every single one of these down in order to get the pencil markings. And then again, to do it with the Dremel, it's just difficult in these edges here, these two grooves. Compared to this one, with the completely flat union, I still think it looks really nice. I mean, it's a huge difference being able to carve these stars, or have the option of using these little glue-on stars, and that gives it just so much more I don't know, character and depth, and just looks really nice. So having the flat union, much easier to Dremel. You could use the flat stars, the ones you order on Amazon there. Or if you put 1/8 of an inch rather than 1/4 of an inch groove in the union, you won't be able to use these, because what happens is these stars end up folding in and breaking, and it doesn't work. Trust me. I'll show you an example of one I tried to do. So this particular flag, I'm using the raised wooden glue-on stars that you get from Amazon, and you can see that this was when I was also making 1/4 inch depth cuts rather than 1/8 inch depth cuts. And you can just see how horrible that looks. And you really have to place the glue. Like, I could snap that one off if I needed to right now. A few of them did snap off right there. So right there, one snapped off. Had another one snap off there. So you just can't do it. You can't do the deep grooves with the stick-on or the glue-on stars. And also, Dremeling that is just a nightmare. That's why I tried doing the glue-on, because I was getting so frustrated trying to Dremel into a groove that deep. So just don't go so deep. You can go plenty deep down here. But once you get to that union, you don't want to go too deep at all. Something else I tried recently was white stain instead of just the regular, pine representing the white stripes. And a couple things I don't like about it. It bleeds through a lot. Definitely do the white first because the red covers the white when you have to touch it up. And the other thing I don't like is the stars don't match. They need to be white too, I think, as well. So I have an airbrush. I might try my hand at airbrushing that. But just bottom line though is this, I really don't even like the way that looks, the white. But some people like it. I'm not sure I'll make too many of these. I'll just stick with the regular pine color. Okay, so let's talk about the folds for a minute. So I do a 3/4 inch depth there and a 3/8 inch depth there. Now, I've watched a lot of YouTube videos and so many people use chisels. This I did completely with the multi-tool, and I tell you what, that just, it makes it so much easier. And so it really, honestly, it makes it cleaner also. The only thing you have to watch out for is, I'll do it I'll record this the next time I make a flag, but you see that line right there and right there? That is from the Dremel tool going too deep. So you have to put like a tape mark or something on the saw blade. And there's the blade. So when you can actually get all the way to that corner, and it's okay if you go into here a little bit because the stain fills that. But anyway, do as much as you can with this multi-tool rather than chiseling. It makes your life so much easier. So all the feedback I've gotten from selling these, they love the finished back and the hanger. They all ask about the hanger, and I bought all those on Amazon as well, and in bulk. And the hanger makes a huge difference. Customers really, really seem to appreciate that. So these are all the American flag related projects I've created, and just keep trying different things. I'm even trying a smaller draped flag. Now that one didn't quite work out, but we're gonna work on that. And that one is the most recent one I did. That was the one that had the flat union. And if you look in comparison, you can see a difference between the deeper cut. But I still think the shallower cut still accomplishes that. I'm not really thrilled with the flat. The only time I'll ever do flat is if I'm gonna be using the glue-on stars. Okay, so just briefly, I wanted to cover the Dremel, and most of you probably already know this, but one thing for sure is this little pencil-like device that screws onto your actual Dremel is an absolute necessity. You have to do it. It's so such an upgrade. And then these guys are what I use to outline the stars first on the pencil line. That's a 105. I'm not sure what this is. I don't know how well the camera's gonna pick it up, but believe it or not, you can see they're bigger. This one's bigger, and that's what you use. This is the one you use to outline, the small one. This is what you use to carve your stars out. Anything bigger than this, you're gonna rip into the wood. You're not gonna be happy at all with the results. Oh yeah, one other thing is have yourself a couple of pieces of wood that equal the size of your arm to the, so when you're carving your stars, you use that to lean on the tight ones in close. When you're out here, you can work right off of the flag itself, but These make it really nice for your wrist support and your stability to go through and carve all your stars out. That's a couple-hour process, that's for sure.